Today, I'll be talking about personal genomics. So what is DNA exactly? DNA or deoxynucleic acid is a long molecule that contains our unique genetic code. Within DNA contains the genotype and phenotype. So genotype is the genes that make up your body, and then the phenotype is within the genotype that determines your physical appearance. And with the genes, there's recessive and dominant genes. And within recessive and dominant genes, there's homozygous and heterozygous traits. So how is DNA obtained? So I'm going to be talking about particularly 23andMe and how they operate and stuff. So 23andMe is a company that provides genetic information to people. So one, you order which package that you want. There's 3 packages: the basic, essential, and premium package. Then 2, you spit inside of this clear tube in which all the packages have, and that's the DNA that they need. And 3, you discover your genetic information within like a month's time. How does it work? So every DNA is different due to variants, right? And variants can be linked to certain health conditions and traits in ancestry groups. And saliva contains DNA from the cells in the person's mouth, as I stated before. And they have a CLIA certified lab that extracts the DNA from the cells in the saliva sample. Then the DNA is processed in the lab on a genotyping chip that reads hundreds of thousands of variants in your genome. And the genetic data is analyzed and generate a personalized report based off a well-established scientific research. So there are some advantages to this. One, proactive and not reactive care delivery. So most of the time in the healthcare system, there's usually reactive care delivery. For example, when you have the flu, most of the time you just go to the doctors and get treated for that. But a proactive way to do that is to get the flu shot. Therefore, you may or may not get it. But even if you do get it, it's not going to be as bad when you get it without the flu shot. Another example is individualized care that goes beyond the individual. So providers can access an individual's genetic code and determine what sort of treatment is right for him or her, leading to better outcomes and lower costs. And number 3, patient-provided education. So as genetic testing becomes more affordable and more accessible, more people will be looking to understand their health risk. There are some disadvantages. So one, the data can be stolen. So with everything being online and online and stuff, that there's always a possibility that the data can be stolen no matter what. 2, the tests may not be available for health conditions or traits. So even though the test can search over hundreds and thousands of different variants, it's not going to catch every variant there are. So therefore, it goes to my third point, number 3, that tests can be inaccurate or incomplete. So within this disadvantage, some people can make very important life decisions based off the genetic information, which sometimes is not always the greatest because of the fact that tests can be inaccurate and incomplete. So therefore, I suggest that you should talk to your doctor before making an important decision based off of your genetic information. Okay, what are some social implications in terms of benefit and risk? So one, mental health. So when hearing genetic information that sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. And so within the bad information that you may receive, it can affect you and your family and how you look upon life. And sometimes it's just not always the greatest thing. And 2, discrimination. So someone can discriminate someone else because of their genetic information. There are laws and rules in place that prevents this, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And also finally, doctor and patient relationship. So with having genetic information that providers can access, sometimes some doctors are able to help you within the genetic information that you provide. So genome privacy. One, this is again from 23andMe, that they never share the information. So they don't ever share the information to a third party. You decide who you want to share that information with. Two, that they won't release any information to law enforcement unless they have a court order, a subpoena, a search warrant, or any other request. And three, GINA, the Genetic Information and Non-Discrimination Act. That's one of the acts that I was talking about before that prevents discrimination, protects the genetic privacy of the public, including research participants. So the Genetic Information and Non-Discrimination Act of 2008 makes it illegal for health insurance or employers from requesting or requiring genetic information of an individual or of a family member, and further prohibits the discrimination use of such information. In conclusion, DNA contains a genetic code. DNA is different for everyone. DNA is passed down from parent to child, and DNA results are protected. So the big question is, why would I do it? So one, to know my ancestry. Me, as a Black woman, I don't really know my ancestry. So with doing personal genomics, it will be very interesting to see where I actually come from. Two, it seems fun. As my third point is to learn more about myself. It seems fun to learn new things about me, even maybe possibly some diseases or different traits that I have that was like passed down to me or could possibly have. I don't know. And finally, this concludes my presentation. These are my citations listed here, and have a great day.